I prepared for this interview, Piers, exactly the way Donald prepared for his debate. I was on stage during the time and not watching it, but I've tried to catch up a little bit. And I got to tell you, I can't see how anybody is saying it was close at all. I mean, I'm a performer, and I just felt the flop sweat from Donald Trump. He seemed to have no idea what he was doing, and I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan at all, but boy, she seemed to be killing him. He just didn't seem to have any idea what he was talking about. He seemed like he was in way over his head. And I'm just so embarrassed as an American that the rest of the world is seeing this, because it should not be a boxing match. It should be about ideas. And because we haven't got any third-party candidates, not Jill Stein and not Gary Johnson out there, they weren't talking about ideas. It was just so unpleasant. I just found the whole thing creepy and embarrassing.
He was very supportive of me as Batman, I have to say.
Was he?
You know what? He may not be all bad.
Okay, so the president-elect has a thing for cosplay.
What is the best way, do you think, to engage with somebody like Donald Trump?
I think the whole thing is we can't really engage with this with the framework that he's created. We have to talk about a new framework. That's what, because I suppose I see the body of humanity like a human body. So the way the body works, the cells, the organs, and the muscles, they all work together to keep the body healthy. So, like, you know, when you stub your toe, like, it's the furthest part away from your brain, but it really hurts. But I would never dream of banning my toe,
right,
or exiling my liver. So that's the framework which I try and deal with my comedy. That this kind of our fundamental oneness has to underpin any discussion.
If we focused on this guy, you would see this man is a narcissist. Forget about everything else. He's not quirky. He's not eccentric. You can't take you can't do spitting image on him. He's a sick person. And every day people go, oh, I don't understand why he did this. You know, if you had somebody stand up and go, excuse me, here's a note from the doctor, he's doing exaczly what somebody does with that illness.
He's in charge of the most powerful nation on the planet.
And was democratically elected.
Yeah, but how crazy is my country to want such fear, in the seat of the White House? He's provoking fear, and when you do that to a country, they're yours. I mean, this has happened in history before.
You're a US citizen now, aren't you? So you had Trump as your leader.
The Donald. Wow. There's a complicated fella. And as one journalist once said to me, is he the political Sex Pistol?
Well, in a way, in terms of disruption,
what I dislike is the left-wing media in America are trying to smear the bloke as a racist, and that's completely not true. There's many, many problems with him as a human being, but he's not that. And there just might be a chance that something good will come out of that situation because he terrifies politicians.
I mean, you live...
And this is joy to behold.
Right. I mean, that very much is the Sex Pistols thing, anti-establishment. He is the absolutely archetypal anti-establishment character in politics.
Dare I say, a possible friend.
Ooh, that would be an unlikely
rows we could have.
Reality show stars can become leaders of countries. So,
as we found out,
you are Donald Trump.
Are you
going to come from nowhere as a reality superstar and take the political vacuum by storm?
I think the difference between me and Donald Trump is that I know what the difference is between being on reality TV and being a politician. And to be on reality TV, you've got to be a bit shocking, take people by surprise, kind of a bit out.
As opposed to being sensible and serious and consensual and taking risks but thinking hard about it.
Is that how you would describe Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, that's a different question. But in terms of this thing to do with Donald Trump, in the end, does he actually know that he's not a reality TV star anymore?
You're quite friendly with President Trump.
Well, actually, yes. He's been nothing but nice to us. Very controversial figure.
Yeah,
we know. And I wouldn't have that job. You know, that no one can please everyone.
Do you think he's enjoying it, or do you think he's finding it just to be a living hell?
Oh, I'm sure he's frustrated. Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
He's just doing what he does, and then it's unappreciated by some and appreciated by others. But he's never been anything but nice to us.
Last time you spoke to this programme was before the US election. You described Donald Trump as a demagogue then. Now that he's been elected and he's been in office for nearly 6 weeks, what is your view of Donald Trump's presidency so far?
Trump was elected by people who felt disenfranchised by the governing elite in a revolt against globalization. His priority will be to satisfy his electorate who are neither liberal nor that well informed. We have already seen this in the promise to build a wall along the Mexican border, in the sanctioning of 2 oil pipelines, and the appointment to the Environment Protection Agency of Scott Pruitt, a man who does not believe carbon dioxide causes climate change. This appointment pleases the coal industry and the miners who voted for Trump.
Professor, is the global liberal hysteria in reaction to Donald Trump winning the election justified?
The reaction to the election of Donald Trump may have been overdone, but it represents a definite swing to a right-wing, more authoritarian approach. There was reported to be a memo that government scientists must get White House approval for any announcements. A similar ruling in Canada had a chilling effect on science there. Everyday life in the United States continues much the same. I have many friends and colleagues there, and it is still a place I like and admire in many ways, but I fear that I may not be welcome.
Well, I think you would be welcome, Professor. You're always welcome anywhere. But I'm certainly probably likely to see President Trump in the not too distant future. And if I do, what message would you like me to relay to him?
He should replace Scott Pruitt at the Environment Protection Agency. Climate change is one of the great dangers we face, and it's one we can prevent. It affects America badly, so tackling it should win votes for his second term. God forbid.
I do have young kids, and it actually has kept me up at night. I mean, it's infiltrated our daily lives in a way that is, for me, not healthy. I do worry about not only the environment, but I worry about our security. And I'm also I'm concerned about our democracy. You know, I'm concerned about what we've counted on as Americans, and the fact that we don't know what the truth is, and there's so much money in Washington. And I feel sad for the people that voted for him that still really are hoping that he's going to deliver for them. There are a lot of people that are hurting in America, just like all over the world, and they believed in him, and it's been my worry from the very beginning.
What do you think is going to happen to him?
Well, I mean, it's my hope that sooner than later that he's not in office anymore. I mean, the word impeachment definitely comes out of my mouth, but what we need is a functioning government, and it's been, for the last 144 days, nothing but chaos.